Hi, this is Jean Morgan. I am in the Hidden Resources folder of my Core Sites unit, and I am specifically going to talk about how this unit incorporates the 11 iNACOL standards. So I'm going to start out right with Standard A, where the online teacher knows the primary concepts and structures of effective online instruction and is able to create learning experience to enable student learning. The artifact I used here was the paper that we written for this unit that incorporated the theories into how we approached a specific day in the unit. I chose day 2, where there is a PowerPoint with voiceover and students have to watch a video from an expert. And so this ties into Vygotsky's constructive approach as well as Bandura's social cognitive theories, where students can gain information from others at a higher level, and then Vygotsky's constructives, where they use a graphic organizer to gain knowledge to help them make them successful. Standard B, the online teacher understands and is able to use a range of technologies, both existing and emerging, that effectively support student learning and engagement in the online environment. So here are the 3 different artifacts. The Core Sites lesson incorporates many different strategies to help keep students engaged in the lesson, which ultimately supports student learning. So here are 3 different technologies. The first one, based on student engagement, is the students are going to be reading questions and answers and an online link from the Highway Safety Institute talking about airbags and how they work and death rates and all sorts of information. Nothing about chemistry here. The online activity relates directly to Vygotsky's constructivist theory that indicates children can perform difficult tasks with the help of a more advanced individual. So we're learning some information from here. So you'll see there's an overview and then a question and answer. So they will be learning information here through this student engagement. The discussion boards, students are going to will learn their new knowledge from the expert testimony along with their past knowledge, and discuss the mandatory use of airbags in vehicles and what our rights are, how our country is maybe a little bit different than other countries, and so on and so forth. So they'll do that through a discussion board assignment. And the last strategy that we're going to be incorporating is the Prezi PowerPoint. And it's one of the possible tools students can use to show their knowledge of airbags by presenting the results in their own mock airbag design. And so they'll be using this kind of presentation. They'll be following a rubric. They get some choice whether or not they want to do it through a PowerPoint or Prezi or through a paper abstract, more written abstract, but it has to contain the same thing. And this shows their mastery of knowledge because of the emotional attachment they have to the assignment and their work. Standard C, the online teacher plans, design, and incorporates strategies to encourage active learning, application, interaction, participation, and collaboration. The artifact here, I included a YouTube video for the future instructor. This video explains the strategies used in the unit and the reasoning behind the strategies. It's very cognizant of the diversity of students' academic needs, and it explains ideas and suggestions and strategies to incorporate. And then you also see a PDF file for the visually impaired, voiceover, PowerPoints, and graphic organizers, this tool to help all students, because I really feel that as much as we need to make accommodations for students with specific needs, I think all students learn differently. So by giving them multiple ways in which to gather the information, the more effective they are going to be learning the material, and the more affective they are going to have in wanting to participate and learn this way. Standard D, the online teacher promotes student success through clear expectations, prompt responses, and regular feedback. Artifact number 1 is just the grading policy itself. This is the letter to the future instructor, which explains my idea behind this unit. Artifact number 2 is the unit grading policy that the students will see. And this actually gives an additional information to the instructor and how points will be awarded for the coursework and the key summit assessment, but as well as the policies and procedures. What to do when kids are absent. What if they don't meet mastery of the key summative assessment, what I do, and then how to make up labs in case they're absent. So that's all built into there. Standard E, the online teacher models, guides, and encourages legal, ethical, and safe behavior related to technology use. Now this is built, this will probably not be done in this unit. It will be done way beginning of the school year, where there's an academic integrity honesty lesson built into this demo, but really it would be probably at the beginning of the year. So the students will watch a video clip on academic integrity, and I call it academic honesty along with it. The YouTube video incorporates Billy Joel's song Honesty into it. The students will use a Google Class survey form to explain their idea of what academic integrity and honesty means to them, what it looks like in our classroom. There's a copy of the form. The students will participate in a class discussion regarding academic integrity and honesty in our classroom. And using those words, we're going to build a Wordle, and that will be hung up in our classroom to remind us every day of the importance of academic integrity. And then students will then take home an academic integrity honesty contract, and that will specifically be using the verbiage and the words that we have come up with as a class. And they'll discuss that with their parents and take it and get it signed and bring it back. So artifact number 2 itself is by giving them rubrics. Rubrics keep them attuned to safe behavior as far as technology goes. It talks about the plagiarism, turninginfo.com, and all this stuff is built into the rubric. So it's just, if that's built into a day-to-day basis for students, I think that's promoting and guiding and encouraging safe behavior with regards to technology. Standard F, the online teacher is cognizant of the diversity of student academic needs and incorporates accommodations into the online environment. Kind of touched on this already before, but here's a Prezi that's built out that specifically talks about the type of accommodations that are built into the online unit, and it really supports the diverse recognition networks, the diverse strategic networks, and as well as the affective networks. So take a look at that Prezi. Standard G, the online teacher demonstrates competency in creating and implementing assessments in online learning environments in ways that ensure validity and reliability of the instruments and procedures. Okay, so a PowerPoint with voiceover that explains not only the unit but the key assessment. It's there. Okay, that is a great artifact right from the get-go. It's there. Pre-unit surveys, getting a knowledge base on what kids know and what they don't know. The rubrics itself, a discussion board, the discussion board rubric, all these are shows the ways of implementing assessments in online learning that really ensure the validity of what they are learning and kind of hold them to it. Standard H, the online teacher develops and delivers assessments, projects, and assignments that meet standard-based learning goals and assesses learning progress by measuring student achievement. Here is the artifact, the UBD lesson itself. Okay, this artifact is UBD, UDL, and what I have as 5E learning sequence lesson on exploring the science of airbags in conjunction with the next gen science standards. The lesson's broken up to 3 stages. Stage 1 is about the desired outcome of the lesson. Stage 2 talks about the assessment evidence, and Stage 3 is the portion of that lesson that spells out specifically the learning plan. All of them have key components in here. Stage 1 talks about the standards, the essential questions, the big idea. Stage 2 explains, in addition to observations and feedback, laboratory journal, how all these things help provide evidence of mastery towards the standards, and the key summative assessment and discussion board, of course using a rubric. Stage 3 is really tying into the information about the learning experience. Instruction will enable students to achieve the desired learning outcome. This is the day-to-day stuff, what they do on each single day. It's built out day by day by day. So I think that's an important piece for the iNACOL standards. Standard I, the online teacher demonstrates competency in using data from assessments and data sources to modify content and guide student learning. Approach this 2 ways. The teacher needs to get information about specific students if they have IEPs, 504, so and so forth, help guide and modify their learning environment. That to me comes from, at my school, it's called Infinite Campus. This allows the teacher to assess this information, get their current grades, past grades, test scores. All this stuff is based on Infinite Campus. So There's a screenshot here just to show you what our Infinite Campus thing looks like. The second approach I had is if the teacher wants to determine that a student specifically needs support. In this case, I said Avogadro's law or gas stoichiometry. 2 units we've already covered already, but because they didn't master it completely, they're struggling with this portion of it in this part of the unit. So I can assign them specific support through CK12. I could have used Khan Academy, but I kind of like the CK12 because CK12 ties everything to real-world problems, and so CK12 also has assessment pieces built into it, so I can assign student-specific support, and if that doesn't work, do one-on-one, see what we have to do to get the student up to the level where they can show mastery. Standard J, the online teacher interacts in a professional, effective manner with colleagues, parents, and other members of the community to support student success. Here's our letters. Letters to the future instructor explaining the unit and the key summative assessment. Letters to the parents explaining the same thing, the unit and the key summative assessment. And then 2 letters to our professional learning community, 1 to a medical examiner and 1 to an airbag engineer, where I have gathered information, elevated the level of learning where the students will be getting, and incorporating their NGS science standards into what they're learning on airbags from these 2 experts. Standard K, the online teacher arranges media and content to help student teachers transfer knowledge most effective in the online environment. Here I just talked about the course sites lesson. There's 1 media-based, 1 static assignment. So the media-based is the PowerPoint lecture with voiceover and a graphic organizer. This is to help students gather the information that is needed for the key summative assessment. If they do this portion of it, they have that information available to them all the time. Artifact number 2, day 2 static assignment. The static assignment is to be done in the student's laboratory notebook. All right, this is something that they will turn in as individual work, and it is part of the rubric on the key summative assessment. So that's kind of the static part of it. So that's the iNACOL standards in a nutshell and how they relate to this unit. I hope it explains things thoroughly, and I thoroughly enjoyed learning and applying these iNACOL standards to this unit. Thanks. Bye-bye.